Complex diets? Reset your health with these 17 simple secrets. Ditch the confusion. Embrace vitality today.
Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right with your health? I mean, you're tracking your food, you're exercising, but you're just not getting the results you want. Well, we're about to dive into a whole series of lessons from someone who was stuck in that exact same spot. They finally just ditched all the online trends and started listening to their own body. And honestly, the results were a total game changer. I think this feeling is so common, right? You're putting in all this work, but something is just not clicking. So today, we're going to follow that journey from total confusion to real clarity, all based on what someone actually went through. Let's get into it. So here's how we've broken it all down. First, we'll talk about why so much health advice is just plain wrong. Then we'll get into your daily habits, upgrading your fuel, and uncovering some major blind spots. And we'll wrap it all up by showing you how to use your own body as the best source of data you'll ever have. All right, let's kick things off with the core problem. You know, we're absolutely drowning in health information, but half the time it feels more like a curse than a blessing. The real battle isn't with your willpower or your body. It's learning how to cut through all that generic noise online so you can actually hear the signals your body is sending you. And this is exactly what that noise looks like, isn't it? The internet is just a battlefield of these different diet camps, and every single one is screaming that they have the one true answer. It's totally overwhelming, it's contradictory, and as this person found out, just picking a side can lead you down a path that's completely wrong for your own unique biology. So here's the first huge lesson. Stop trying to win an argument on the internet and start running experiments on yourself. The real breakthrough wasn't finding the right diet, it was this massive realization that their own body would provide way better data than any influencer or Reddit thread ever could. So maybe you try one approach for a few weeks, pay close attention to your energy, your sleep, and then you try another. You're the scientist here. Okay, now let's build on that idea. Once you stop stressing about which diet camp is the right one, you can finally focus on these foundational habits. And a huge one, a really huge one, isn't just what you're eating, but when you're eating it. You want to think of these 3 habits as working together like a system. First, you've got to learn to tell the difference between real hunger and just, boredom or habit. Second, you cut out the constant snacking that keeps your metabolism working overtime. And third, you try introducing periods of fasting to let your body's natural repair systems finally kick in. This combo was the key to better digestion, stable energy, and finally getting rid of those afternoon crashes. And this quote, wow, it really highlights the hidden cost of a habit that seems so innocent. For the author, snacking was the absolute hardest habit to break, but it was also the most rewarding. See, every little snack contributes to this pattern of metabolic stress that just quietly builds up over years. Breaking that one cycle, it can be totally transformative. So we've covered when to eat, and now let's dig into what you're putting in your body. This is all about simple but really powerful upgrades to your fuel. And we're going to start with the most basic one of all, water. This right here is a classic piece of advice that, it turns out, is mostly wrong. Forcing yourself to drink water when you're not actually thirsty can backfire. It can dilute your electrolytes. Those are the essential salts your body needs for everything to work right. The real lesson here, your body has a built-in hydration guide. It's called thirst. We just have to learn how to listen to it again. And here are 2 more really simple upgrades. First, make protein a priority. For the author, this was an absolute game changer for feeling full, keeping blood sugar stable, and just having consistent energy. Second, level up your water game. Making it more interesting with carbonated water or some simple sun tea made hydration way more enjoyable. It turned a chore into a treat. Okay, so by now, we're all pretty well trained to scan a nutrition label for the word sugar. But here's the thing. Manufacturers have gotten incredibly good at hiding ingredients that act just like sugar in your body, but they go by a totally different name. They're like sugar's secret agents. Things like maltodextrin, modified starch, refined flour. Inside your body, all of these trigger a metabolic response that's pretty much identical to plain old sugar. So the key takeaway here is to look beyond just the word sugar and pay attention to the total carbohydrates. That's what tells you the real story. All right, now we get to the really juicy stuff. The factors that are often completely invisible, but can have a massive impact on how you feel. These are the blind spots that can sabotage all of your best efforts if you just don't know to look for them. Now, this is a big one. You know, most health tests are reactive. They tell you about a problem after it's already arrived. But what if there was a key metric that could act like an early warning system, one that could give you a chance to course correct long before you ever feel any symptoms? Well, that test is for fasting insulin. See, your blood sugar can stay normal for a really long time, but behind the scenes, your insulin levels might be slowly creeping up for years as your body works harder and harder to keep things in check. Catching a high fasting insulin level early is like getting a cheat sheet for the future. It gives you this priceless window to make changes. So many of us are also unknowingly running low on these crucial micronutrients. I'm talking about things like vitamin D for your immune system, magnesium for better sleep, potassium for your nervous system, and trace minerals that are often just missing from modern food. Just addressing these quiet deficiencies can unlock a whole new level of well-being. And here are 2 final blind spots. First, realizing that a cheap multivitamin that your body can't even absorb is basically just a waste of money. It's way better to invest in fewer but higher quality supplements. And second, the power of a simple water filter. Think about it. It's a high leverage investment because its benefits compound every single day you use it. Okay, let's pull all of this together in our final section. We've gone through habits, fuels, and those hidden blind spots. So how do we actually apply all of this? The central theme, the really big idea behind all 17 of these lessons, is about making a fundamental shift in your perspective. And this quote just captures that philosophy perfectly. Think about it. Your health probably didn't fall apart because of one giant mistake, right? It was likely the result of small, not-so-great habits repeated for years. Well, the amazing news is that the exact opposite is also true. Small, consistent, positive changes stack on top of each other to create a transformation that feels almost magical. So, look. If you take only one thing away from all of this, let it be this. The ultimate goal is to stop outsourcing your health decisions and become the lead researcher in the experiment of you. You have to learn to trust the signals your body is sending you over any rigid dogma you find online. And that brings us to the final and honestly the most important question. This isn't just about learning things, it's about doing things. So looking at all of these lessons we've covered, from cutting out snacks to upgrading your water to maybe checking your vitamin D, what's the one small